Vaibhav Sanghavi is with us. He's CEO at Ask Hedge Solutions. Vaibhav, good to have you with us here. Thank you very much for your time. So just a sort of question in terms of what you are doing. And, you know, somebody was saying that because people have made, at least some of the larger HNIs, etc., have made so much money, and that is true, absolutely true, going into something like the election results, even if you believe that there's going to be continuity, etc., you just want to sort of build an abundant caution in that sense. So just stand down till you clear that date. Do you think that is what is happening? And what are you doing at Ask Hedge?
So I think, Prashant, first of all, good afternoon. When we talk about an event which is there, a binary event, in fact, which has the potential to take the market up or down massively depending upon the outcome, no matter how certain the outcome may be. But as a student of risk, there is always a possibility of something kind of being, how the market may kind of, factoring in terms of the outcome. So what we typically do is around these events is, or any other binary events, is basically that we either go highly hedged or go very light on the portfolio. We do not take a call. Of course, the marker to changing our view on that is either one, we get some amount of exit polls, and post that is something we can probably look to do something. But otherwise, till then, we stay light and wait for the event to kind of pan out.
So this time you're fully hedged, or you've just increased the cash call, and what does it stand at now?
We would be by the close of this month probably fully hedged in that sense. So it's just a matter of a few days now. So we will wait till then. And of course, I would love to go long if I would have a directional fund, into the event, but then not that because we are a risk-adjusted return fund and a long-short fund. So we will go protected.
But your gut says that, the best approach would be to go long. Someone who does not have the compulsions that you have, you would go enter into this event with bullishness?
See, again, I would differentiate into two, parts. One is basically if you're genuinely a long-term investor, to be very honest, it wouldn't matter. You can, stay pretty much long, through the event. And over a longer period of time, India's story being so fantastic, I think, all should make money in any case. But if you're a trader, I think discipline is something which comes, absolutely at the topmost kind of criteria. And if I look at that, then, we'll probably go, hedged in any case from a trader perspective.
Vaibhav, hi, good afternoon. Make money, but make money where? There's a market with higher volatility, so much noise. We have to, wait till 4th of June and then deal with the aftermath. Even after that, then we get into a full-blown budget, and let's see what the new government has on its mind. So, pretty noisy phase for the market. What's your advice, at least for the next couple of months?
I think it's going to be noisy. It's going to be volatile, and which is reflective in terms of our VIX level, which is now currently about 22%. My sense is basically post 3rd of June, 2nd or 3rd of June, I think we should cool off in terms of the volatility. But having said that, as you rightly mentioned, the budget is something which is up next. Probably that is something also we will be keenly looking forward to. Now, if there is continuity in terms of what, where the consensus is currently, then my sense is basically we would continue to see focus on Capex-driven industry, which, the government has been very consistent on the supply side. And if no matter, I would say the valuations being expensive, I think they will continue to trade rich. At the same time, monsoons likely to be pretty good. I think rural is something which currently till now has underperformed. I think that is a possibility where we can see some amount of bottoming out and can see some amount of recovery from there onwards as well. And lastly, in terms of the consumer discretionary, I think durable space is something which we continue to like as well. So all of these things are probably where our attention would be.
Vaibhav, good to see you in. But what to buy from the rural themes? That's the sense you get from some of these FMCG names. Sometimes a longer election in this sort of a heat, it could support the offtake out there, which could be visible in Q1. There is the input costs that have cooled off as well, and these stocks haven't done much. So from the rural themes, what would it be? Two-wheelers? Would it be FMCG stocks? What else?
Absolutely right, Nigel. I think staples which have been actually underperforming for the last 6 to 9 months. And looking at the commentary which we had in terms of the calls, my sense is basically that we should be looking at some amount of recovery there. While the two-wheeler numbers also continue to be pretty robust and strong. So both of these segments are something one can definitely have a look at it. The only thing is basically in case of autos, there may be some amount of raw material price, escalation kind of kicking in. And as compared to the consensus forecasts in terms of the margins, we may see probably some amount of pressure of margin coming in, going forward, which can reduce the forecasts on the whole sector. So while we are bullish on two-wheelers, I think an eye on the margins would always be there.
Any other sort of individual kind of names, Vaibhav, you want to highlight? Because it's a market full of stocks and the action is all in individual names, various stories playing out. Anything you'd like to highlight?
Unfortunately not, Prashant, but I would genuinely say that the current dispensation, if it, in all likelihood, it continues. And then we do think that industrials as a space, even at an expensive valuation or rich valuations, will continue to see robust interest, going forward. So any declines on that space, I think, should be looked at an opportunity to get in.
So you're talking about equipment makers largely, Vaibhav?
Sorry, I didn't get you, Prashant.
You're talking about capital goods companies, equipment, power equipment, etc. That kind of stuff.
Of course, Prashant. I think that is a segment because my sense is basically the private capex is kind of waiting to kind of get in terms of the plans once the election results is out. I think you will see a flurry of capex projects coming about and the subsequent industries to be benefited, driven by the capex.
Okay, so just to recap, Vaibhav, what would be your top long bets right now? Industrials and capex, capital goods. We've discussed that. What else?
As I said, rural sectors, rural focus sectors, consumer durables, and consumer staples. We do think that they are bottoming out from here onwards. As well as, last but not the least, we are also bullish on, or we are getting, roundabout bullish on IT as well. So those are the sectors which we think, should be looked at.
And to go short, what would you do to counterbalance this?
So short, I would not particularly say short, but underweight for sure, or probably underperformers, I would say, would continue, or we would think that autos is a segment, where we would see some amount of raw material prices, kind of kicking in the next few quarters, which would lead to their kind of forecast getting kind of downgraded as well. So that is a sector which we are probably going underweight on as well.
Okay. All right, Vaibhav, good speaking with you today. Thank you very much for taking out the time and joining in and giving us some perspective on the market.